It's your man PL. You just heard the sounds of DJ Jamel Rockwell on the Prelude, and when I get my shit together, here we go. You'll see tonight's special guest, Mr. TommyLift.
Well, hello.
How's it going, man?
Man, very well, very well.
Yeah.
Doing well. Out the woodwork.
We're gonna
Feeling young again.
we're gonna get into who TommyLift is and why TommyLift is so important to.
Oh, hush your mouth.
Oh no.
Oh, we gonna do that. We gonna do all that, bro. Just get ready.
No.
That's real.
Get ready. You going for a ride, bro?
But first, like we always do. I'd like to check in. You know what I'm saying? See how everybody's doing mentally, physically, emotionally, hell, spiritually, financially. You know what I'm saying? Just the overall. TommyLift. How was your week, sir?
Man, it's good. It's good. Same old. I mean, man, it feels like everything is like a regimented approach. Like, I've got a new job right now that I'm doing, and I got the house that I'm trying to get done, which is, what's kept me out the scene for a minute. So, I live by like a schedule. My shit is constant, and my parents are ancient and feeble, and like I have to see them from time to time and make sure they're good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Stable.
Oh yeah.
So and then the best parts of my week, I'm either spending on creating something like the house or spending time with my beautiful lady over here. So yeah, I'm good.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yes, sir.
Tommy creating, so systems are nominal.
Always trying to learn something, always trying to be open to something, always trying to love somebody. That's what I'm up to.
Man, that's some beautiful stuff.
Yes, sir.
I try to do some of that. The key word is try.
That's what you can do. Do what you can.
Let's not talk about your close rate.
But Rockwell, you raggedy motherfucker, you. How was your week?
Happy birthday. No, I'm just.
Yeah, that's a good one. I woke up this morning to a happy birthday text. I was like,
Hey,
what?
Hey man, I was so dead set on not missing it this year because we talked about it on the show before. That I just saw 30th and I was like, hey, there we go. All right, let me just send this off right now. Fire this off and I'm good.
My boy made me think that I hit a time loop or something, and I was like,
straight what?
What?
No, but hey, nobody related to me died this week. Win.
Win. For real.
I feel that.
That's a win, dog. No, it's been cool. Well, it's not been cool. This location has been very hot and humid this week, and we got to make some adjustments on it. But besides that, been good. The new living situation is great.
All right, that's a beautiful thing, also. For myself, this week was it was majority good. I did get as the young folks say, triggered this week because I consider myself to be a strong mental healthcare advocate. And Simone Biles in the Olympics situation, her stepping back and choosing her her mental health and physical safety, because you're up there doing flips and rotations and shit, and your mind ain't in this. You fuck around and land on your neck.
That's true.
And it's a done deal. And I don't give a fuck what you think about patriotism or teammate companionship or whatever the fuck. Fuck that. None of this shit's worth dying for.
No. But I'm not gonna say I wasn't sad. If this is the end, I'm sad that this is the end.
For Simone Biles?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see her coming back at 28.
Oh no, she's not gonna come back.
Yeah.
But I'm not sad because the reason she's out, or part of the reason she's messed up in the head right now is because they flat out told her, "Hey, look, you are so good that we can't even score you the way we should be scoring you. because it's gonna be unfair to everybody else. So we're gonna penalize you for doing all this fresh shit that you got named after you. Ain't that some shit?
That's crazy.
Right. And so, I was dealing with some of Missouri's finest on the Fox 4 comment section this week.
Why?
Hey, if I'm not going to be petty towards my people or my family or friends, somebody got to get this
Somebody
right.
got to get it.
You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it all the way funky. Somebody's got to get this work. Otherwise, I will... I'd commit some mass murder or some stupid shit, man. I gotta release. If I don't release, it's gonna be fucked up for everybody. So but so like I said, I was slightly triggered by that. But once again, as always, whenever we discuss mental health on the Lawnarchy, there are hotlines, there are people you can call. Hell, if you need to, you can call me if you got my number. My number ain't changed in like 15 years. You know what I'm saying? I'll answer more than likely. Shoot me a text first if you think I don't have it.
Yeah, and people's families take it seriously too when there's someone in your family close to you.
Absolutely.
Don't just push them to the side.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't just be like, oh, that's just how they are or whatever. Fucking listen. Talk.
Right.
Communicate. I mean, man.
And if possible, get a therapist. Go see. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? Go see someone. We as a black community, as a community of the lesser income faction of the U.S., and also as the hip-hop community, you know what I'm saying, we've kind of shunned therapy and therapists for whatever reason. But, we need to get off that old shit, and we need people to be sticking around.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So... On that note, once again, want to let y'all know, Lawnarchy loves you. Ain't no bullshit. If we fucks with you, we fucks with you the long way, the strong way.
Stop telling people you don't get tired.
I get tired all the time.
Right.
I was born tired.
Right.
But yeah, so like I said, reach out if need be. Let's listen to each other. Let's listen to each other better, and I don't want to say be better friends because I don't know how your friendships and relationships are based on or how they operate. But let's be better friends. I said I didn't want to say it. Yeah, live to serve. You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole point. Be a
That's-
better human.
Man, so fuck it. While we at it,
I was about to say, you gonna stop the sports philosophy that short?
what I was saying?
The sport philosophy.
Sport for live to serve.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't gonna go into soul service with that.
I wouldn't. No, but
No, smell 'em, right?
I was just trying to
Sports.
do a little Venn diagram though of the two.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm slow sometimes. Because, what you sipping on?
Ah.
Ha ha
Well-
ha. Snuck it in on you.
Yeah. Right. Stretch. Right. Spin. That's what it is. Spin.
Well, I had to find the logo.
Right. Outstanding. Okay. Well, I'm about to sip on. I've been sipping on the Crane Orange Lassie, which is a sour ale with orange, lactose, and vanilla. 5% on the ABV. It is very funky for a sour. But I think the lactose helps balance it out a little bit. Don't really taste a lot of vanilla, to be honest with you. But I like it. It's definitely a palate cleanser. So if you're going through a flight, I would definitely have this in a flight to rinse off real quick.
All right. TommyLift, my man, my mellow.
Yes, sir.
What are you sipping on?
Well, it's just this lovely Uncle Nearest whiskey. Just a little neat. And then later on, we're going to do a little bit of the Boulevard Pale Ale because I got to rep the neighborhood where I'm from, West Side.
Damn straight.
Currently, anyway, right now. For the last 15 years or so. The Hill, as they call it up there. But, yep. Actually was associated with Boulevard to a certain degree. Like
Yeah.
the dude that owns the buildings that I manage. I take care of properties on the west side. So
Okay.
he was affiliated with the Boulevard for many years.
That's what's up.
So I used to be up in there and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah.
Now I've told this story
I
several
like the
times.
wheat the best. But
I've told this story several times, but if you already know it, that will keep me from having to do it. Do you know the story behind Uncle Nearest?
I do not, and I was going to bring it up if no one else was going to tell it because
Sure.
I heard it was a great story over here.
Yeah. I have no problem telling it because
Please.
it's a cool story.
It's very caramely, I can say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't really describe it. It's kind of like a smooth, almost like a cognac of whiskey. You know, I'm
with a little more body.
Yeah,
A little more body than you get out of cognac.
Yeah.
So Nearest Green was a slave on the Jack Daniels plantation, and he is credited as being the originator of the original Jack Daniels recipe.
The number
Cool.
7.
That makes sense
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
Oh, number 7.
Yeah, the number 7 is popular today.
That's popular. Yeah.
Yeah.
So over the like 20 years ago, descendants of Nearest Green unearthed a lot of this information, and the Daniels family confirmed it, and so they also they took the original recipes that Nearest put together, like his book of recipes, and then now they have Uncle Nearest Distiller Company, and Jack Daniels fully supports them, confirms the story 100%.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. It's a real cool thing.
It is
man.
cool. I'll have to pick up a bottle for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah, it's quite tasty.
Mostly I drink the Bushmills, you know, like, or it's some Irish whiskey or whatever, but this is very tasty. I like it a lot. And I don't really care for Jack Daniels that much.
I don't do a lot of hard liquor personally, but I do like that I'm comfortable drinking this. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I don't really drink too much anyway, but when I do, I just like sip a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I have a good beer from time to time. I actually like a chelada. You know, like.
Do you?
Yeah, and I haven't been there for years since they opened, since it was like a new thing. But like that Q39 spot.
Yeah.
They had like a barbecue rub beer.
really?
Yeah,
I didn't
like
know
around
that.
the rim. It was like a Bloody Mary, but with like beer and the rib rub sauce. And that was kind of nice. So I liked I'm a salty, savory cat.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I like the most,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I can see.
So I'll drink those. I'll drink Coronas, whatnot. But I'm not really much of a drinker, but I'm a smoker, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Every day.
Hey. Shit.
Hey, you know when Nate Dogg ended that tape, he was I got that motherfucker right there.
Oh no, that was it.
That's it right there.
That was it, cuz.
Every day.
No. Hey. Smoke weed.
No,
every
I
day.
ain't going back in the booth. Why?
What? Oh no, that was perfect. That was perfect.
That's what they call a stinger.
That was ON. Let's see. I also am sipping on the Uncle Nearest, finishing it up.
Well, cheers, sir.
Salute.
Salute.
It's quite tasty. You know, put that perv on you if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it.
I happened to be on that Uncle Nearest in Pleasant Valley when the police came to show up.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Well, it just so happened that my friend's birthday that they were celebrating. Now, I did say I was in Pleasant Valley, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was one of 1.5 black folks in Pleasant Valley
Is that
at the time.
out near Liberty?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
my
Yeah.
Jesus. I got a story to tell about Pleasant Valley.
Yeah.
But please, proceed.
But we out
You
there
don't have to get to it today.
celebrating the birthday out on the driveway with the my homegirl B. She's country as all get out, love her to death. They got the cornhole. They got a box of slaps brought. I had to bring the slap, go pick up the slaps from them. They had her boyfriend decided to buy her a karaoke machine. You know, like one of the ones from
Yeah.
from the flea or whatnot. The 215s with the lights.
joints.
Yeah.
Like the Mexican grocery stores.
Yes, sir.
They got them all, like,
you
lined
got
up.
hey.
Or would you like some
Some speaking,
unregulated Viagra products? You know, possibly
But
a piece of cast iron cookware, perchance.
but they really using this thing like a damn karaoke machine.
Yeah, man.
And they started doing this at like 11:30.
Yeah.
So at 12:30,
That's the joint.
Pleasant Valley's finest shows up, and this is one of the most surreal police interactions I've ever had. A couple of the neighbors, because all the neighbors were over there too.
Mm-hmm.
So they saw the cop pull up, and he didn't even have his lights on or anything. He was like a block down the street, and then started walking up the street. They caught him down the street. Hey, officer, are we too loud? Are we too loud? He's like, actually, I got the call from an address over here, but I guess this is where the party's at. What was funny was they were aiming the speaker directly at this house.
Oh, okay.
They called the cops. But
So do you have like a rapport with them or whatever?
absolutely.
So it's like the village pig.
Oh, dude,
You know what I'm saying?
dude,
Like,
it was so they were like, hey man, hey, no problem, we'll turn it down. He's like, it's no big deal. Honestly, I've just never had a call on this block ever before, so I just wanted to come see what was going on.
wow. Man, you want to hear my Pleasant Valley story?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm a Craigslist fiend, always buying. Oh, actually, I go on there to get stuff for free all the time, right? Like things that I can resell or make money off of.
Right.
And I got a buddy that I got to say, shout out to Lupe. He's going to be on my ass if I don't say what's up. So we work together. It's a great thing for like this. I'm digressing here, but
Go for it.
anyway, I go up on there and find free stuff all the time. Lupe helps me break this stuff down. Like I bring stuff back to the crib, to the backyard, and he like processes all the stuff, and we make bank off of
Nice.
like recycled materials,
Hell yeah.
circuit boards, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going off on a tangent, but I don't want to forget to say this because I think it's important. Is that especially now when there's a lot of young men that need like a gig of some sort. No one's going to argue with you at the scrapyard. You bring something in there, you get paid what it's worth. That's what it is. And it's kind of like an introduction to like the stock market too, and the commodities market.
Right.
You get to see how like the price of metals get affected by what's happening in the market at that moment. So it gives you a little like a beginner's
Some
level.
real world interaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so if you have kids who are like 16 to 19 or whatever that are trying to like get a job or whatever, and you're not getting paid what you want to get paid, go out there and find material that you can actually pick up for free at like these apartment complex dumpsters or around. I mean, just get used to the idea. It's just money on the ground. Pick it up. And I'm saying for these kids, you can get, paid cash for the stuff, but the more beautiful thing, and this is the thing I'm thinking about, is that when you do go for a job interview and they say, well, we're going to offer you like $12 an hour, $10 an hour, whatever it is, you can say, I'm sorry, I'm already making that on the weekends. Like I'm
Absolutely.
on my game.
You know
so
your
you
value.
Can say your worth, and
Your
you
job
can like,
value, yeah.
and you could impress someone that wants to. They're like, damn, you're a hustler. You're out there, and it's completely legal. But anyway, that was a digression. So I'm on Craigslist.
Great digression, by the way, but go ahead.
It's real talk. Go on YouTube and look for some of these scrapper people, young people that don't have any money, that you're saying you don't have any money. Just look around you. There is money on the ground, okay? But what I'm saying is that I go on there all the time and I check for free stuff and I look for things that are cheap. And I found this trailer because I'm trying to haul some scrap metal, right?
Right.
And this trailer is like $100. And it's in Pleasant Valley. So I go out there and dude is crazy. He's like naked except for like overall shorts, like no shoes, bald head, looking like a Pleasant Valley denizen from your fantasy story. And his girlfriend's covered in track marks.
Oh.
You know, she's skinny as a rail, and they're flipping around doing all this kind of bullshit in the backyard. They call me. I go out there to get this trailer, and dude is hooking up electrical lines to like pieces of wood, like planks of wood, and then shooting it down with a hose on like this transformer, like you pull out of a microwave or something. And then he lights the shit up. He plugs it in. It's like, it's like traveling like arc lightning's like Back to the Future style down this piece of wood, and it leaves like all these burn marks that look like lightning strikes, right? And he's got this client there that is also coming to him off Craigslist for this burned ass art pieces. And you know, it takes us like 2.5 hours to make this transaction, but the tire of the trailer, right, is flat and it's not going to hold. It's in Pleasant Valley. I'm downtown. I'm like, I need this to hold. If I'm going to pay you for this thing, but I can't haul it home, you know, like,
right.
I'm not leaving out the gate like this. So he's like, man, I got my buddy Fast Eddie. He lives.
Oh no.
We're gonna go see Eddie, and he's got tires for days. And he wasn't lying. This dude actually had like 250 sets of tires in his backyard. This shit was labeled. Everything was labeled. This dude, Fast Eddie, is like 56 years old, skinny as a rail. He looks like, you know, he aged out of Aerosmith or some shit. And he's like, don't mention the Galloping Geese, because he's in a biker gang.
Oh Lord.
And he's like, or Goose, right?
You got Goose. Yeah.
You never say geese. I just fucked up. You never say geese. That's what he was saying. Don't fucking say geese in front of this dude. Like, just don't say shit. Actually, don't say shit. But he's got this dude has scrubs on, like he's a surgeon or something, and he's got a shirt pocket full of hundreds. There's got to be $800, $1,000 just chilling right here in this shirt pocket. And he's got on a big Jesus piece, and I forget what else. Like, I didn't see any weapons, but he had a pickaxe, and he would just like, we had to take the tire off the rim, right? So he was like going after the tire with a pickaxe and popping it off. And every time he would do the shit, another 100 would fall out of his pocket. 200 would fall out of his pocket. And he would bloody up his feet because he was wearing like sandals. He'd take out a toe, and he just looked like gone, you know, like,
what the
and he was like, it's all right, and just blood's pouring out, and the hundreds are on the ground, and I'm like, what the fuck is this gonna cost me? I'm like, there's no way I'm walking away from this without dropping another 100 or two, and I didn't really bring all that.
Right.
And yeah, long story short, it all worked out. Homie talked to him, and was like, they had like a little private powwow, and he goes, I owe Eddie now. I owe him big. But thanks for buying the trailer. That's my part. That's my Pleasant Valley story. It's crazy.
Yeah, look out for Fast Eddie. Good Lord.
Yes, sir. I mean, yeah.
And definitely stay away from the pickaxe.
Yeah.
Bloody feet, big hunted.
Jesus.
Right.
Oh, shit. That might be
In Jesus' peace.
And that's like a story from 2 years ago. I got him back, lined up. I think I should spark this boy.
Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we were talking earlier, and I knew you were from here, but for some reason, a part of me thought that you were from the East Coast. But I did find out that you have like family ties back to the East Coast.
Right.
So, did your family background have any influence on what you did for the most part?
I don't think so necessarily in like a direct way, but in a legit, real, and unintentional way, yes. Like, you could talk to a lot of people whose fathers were musicians or artists or whatever, or accountants, and that's what they do. And it's like, well, my daddy did it, or I was raised in this family. We're engineers here, you know?
Right, yeah.
You see that all the time.
Yeah.
I really do believe that my, especially my background with hip-hop is really more of a happy accident that's related to all the other things that were completely different about my background from most of the people that I was raised around. And so I could expound on that if you want, but I'm just saying that I was not raised in a family that listened to soul music or gospel. I mean, Mahalia Jackson, yes, for sure. Pearl Bailey, a little bit, you know. But I definitely didn't listen to rap. And for that matter, my parents didn't listen to rock. They thought the Beatles were too new, you know, they were too new for them. My parents are old. I said that earlier in the intro. So they didn't have kids right away, and I'm the first one. So we were raised. I was raised with a lot of classical music, like E Power Biggs. You can hear that with the beat on, you know. And then I played the saxophone. And,
no shit.
Yep. And I still have a saxophone and a bassoon. But I played the saxophone and took lessons from a cat in. I was born on Woodland in Kansas City, Missouri. You mentioned my family. Let me back up real quick. My father is Appalachian. He's from Black Log, Pennsylvania. Cabin, wood, dirt floor, wood stove. Wakes up during my childhood in the middle of the night screaming because he's believing that there's rattlesnakes in the bedroom because that's the way it was when he came up.
Oh, man.
Damn.
My mom is from Philly.
Damn.
And she moved to the country when she was like 10, but she came up downtown Philly where like Koreatown is in Philly. Right?
Okay.
And so my dad is the first person in our whole family to go to college, and he got a job at the National Archives in Washington, D.C., and then was transferred when there was an opening to the Truman Library in Independence, Missouri.
Okay.
So there was an osteopathic hospital on Woodland and 24 Highway. That's where I was born. And I was raised right out near the edge of Van Horn territory.
Okay.
In the Independence area. You know what I'm saying? So it was and to make matters even more insular and like scientific, like let's make the formula of TommyLift. We're going to use some pieces and parts that aren't really used much. So I was raised in a neighborhood full of entirely old people. And so I didn't have and I went to a private school. It was a religious school, Lutheran school.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We used to wrestle against Lutheran when I went to Lincoln.
Oh, okay. Lutheran High?
Yeah.
Okay. This was Messiah Lutheran in Independence, Missouri. It was kindergarten through 8th grade. Very insular, very small, very... But, so, I didn't know shit about the people that lived next to me that went to whatever school that I would have gone to, right? And all the people that went to the school that I went to were from the other side of town, all the way up by I don't know if you know Independence much, but it was, at the time, it was hot shit at 40 Highway and Nolan Road. That was right. So that's where all the people lived that went to the school except for me. So I didn't, kick it with them. I wasn't going over after school.
Right.
We didn't have, I think, so anyway, I didn't get the influences, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I wasn't raised
Peer
on...
influences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was raised on just whatever shit I found. There was no internet, but I was had a short wave. I had, my buddy actually had the proto-internet, which was the billboards on our Commodore 64s.
Yeah.
And sometimes you would get some shit from that. And I was just, looking and seeing. But back then, I played the saxophone, and that was one of my influences. Was that Mr. Miller was his name? We used to practice in the basement at Turner Music downtown Independence, playing to Take the A Train.
Oh,
don't
nice.
Get around much anymore. Taste the Honey, all this kind of stuff, And it was just, I remember just waiting in this wood grain hallway with a bubblegum machine, just for your time in the closet with Mr. Miller playing Take the A Train. And then I switched to the bassoon because like everybody and their mama plays the saxophone. So if you want to get a scholarship to get to school, you got to play something
that nobody else plays.
right. And so
Tuba major. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Here also.
okay. So anyway, since you all are band nerds,
Yep.
You will understand an embouchure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they didn't want me playing saxophone in the marching band in high school because I was just starting to play the bassoon and I showed a lot of promise, and they were worried that like your embouchure, the way you
Would
hold
change,
your mouth,
right.
would change. So they're like, you are now a percussionist
Uh,
for marching season, right? So they're like,
Wow.
bass drum ain't shit, just hop on there. I'm like, okay. So I've never done this before, anything. And to make it weirder, you know, like playing saxophone, big band style, there is no drum line,
Right.
perfect rhythm. There's just the ba-da-ba-da-ba, you know, it's just like chill.
Yeah.
So I go to this drumline camp and actually was exposed to this marching DCI. Drum
Yeah.
Bugle
Yeah. Yeah.
Corps,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that came through. I was 14, okay? They came through that summer, and they're like, we're out some cymbal players. Like, how about you hop on? And I'm like, girls, travel,
Yeah.
no parents. And so I did that, and they called me Baryshnikov because I was dancing around so much trying to keep on beat. Because, like, when you march cymbals in DCI or any...
Which corps?
I was with the Colts.
Bro, I never marched, but
Iowa.
I made Contra
Oh, okay.
in Colts in '98.
For real?
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
That's dope. This would have been like 88.
Nice.
Yeah, something like 88. But
Rocky Mountain Magic.
so I had to learn how to, you have to march backwards, right?
Right.
Right in front of the snare players. And this dude that was the line leader, I forget what you actually call the captain of the percussion group, but anyway, he was the leader, right? He was a snare dude, looked like a Navy SEAL. He was just like, he hated me. And he would make me get up at like 5 in the morning and like do all these routines, and twirl the cymbals, and get them up against my chest and all that stuff. But yeah,
You never want to be the target of the lead snare.
hell no.
No, that is one of the most unnecessarily intense positions in like all of positions.
It was nuts. So that was like a whole nother life ago, but I did that, and then that was like what kind of like woke up, the drums, and that's as far as my production goes, that's the most important part of it for me is I just cannot stand listening to like anything with just some canned ass drums or some just weak, like I've, purchased that drum kit, the whatever it is for that year, the shit that sounds new.
Yeah,
So that's what it's been about for me forever. Is just like the drums in my production. So
just the warm up for drum lines in DCI, like I totally understand what you're talking about because like you're literally playing the exact same warm up.
Yeah, over and over again.
For 30 minutes.
We're looking for perfection. Perfection. Complete form. Yeah.
Like, and percussionists are... It's funny because that people say that, like, percussionists don't know anything about melody or tone or thing like it. But especially in core, like...
Right.
Like, drum line is the epitome of tone.
There's no woodwinds. It's just brass drums. So there's not like marching bands. So
right.
The quad, the toms, take a lot of that tone on.
Yeah.
Up and down the four different
Absolutely.
skins on them. Yeah. Yeah. It was something else though. That was we went all across the United States and Canada and like stayed in high schools and
in high school gyms. Yep.
All that kind of stuff.
Woke up and went straight to formation.
In fact, I forgot about this, but I don't know what I did. Like I was always unintentionally getting in trouble with, you know, whoever the tough guys were at the time, and in Core, and I was 14, right? So, but I said something or did something, and they were like, "We are going to whip your ass at the end of this whole run." But little did they know that year the end of the run was in Arrowhead Stadium. So I just ducked. You know? At the end.
I holla.
See ya. I mean, they were on the bus looking out the window, leaving, you know. Pieces. I'm good.
Deuce. Check the deuce.
Yep.
Ah.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh. So, how'd you wind up getting started doing...
Okay. So, I went to the Kansas City Art Institute, and
I didn't know that.
yep, I have my degree in photo video,
Dope.
and I graduated unfortunately right at the cusp of everything going digital. And which was no big deal. I could have taught myself in a heartbeat, you know, like I did with Sony Acid and Vegas,
Yeah,
and Pro Tools
buddy.
and whatever else, and Reason, and you know, you name it. But for whatever reason, you know, if you don't have that on the resume that you were trained on this or you learned it in school, you know. So, but I made people love my video work, whatever. I'm not trying to toot the horn, but I'm just saying it was used in other teachers' classes that were teaching after me as like an example of like, you know, here's what video art looks like. And
Fresh.
Dope.
when I was doing that at the Art Institute, one of the video pieces that I was trying to get my hustle on and make a little money on the side, and Gear was looking for a person to shoot a video commercial for his clothing line at the time, which was called Chameleon Streetwear. And,
Dope.
And so I shot a video of a bunch of graffiti artists, Gear, Cry, a dude named
Wow.
Joe Neckbone, Whip was his name, and Vale Bacardi.
Vale Bacardi.
And we were at the reservoir out in northeast Kansas City, on the northeast.
Dope.
And he was shooting this video called "You Have No Lyrics," point blank. You have no lyrics, point blank. It was him and I forgot the other two cats. They were like, you know, up and comers that were working with him, and we actually shot a scene for that behind the cooler at Bubbles on 39th. Right? If you
Damn.
Okay, 39th all the way out to Van Brunt.
Yeah.
Bubbles Liquor is up on the left there.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Man,
so
that's a throwback.
They let me get up in there and go behind the cooler, so when they pulled their 40 ounces out, you know,
You can say, yeah.
see it, right? And
That's dope.
And then we skipped on down to the Holy Temple Projects, which is now gone.
All the way.
And I was lying on the ground surrounded by Crips because they were throwing C signs down, and I was shooting up, and then Vale was in the middle also, you know, doing, or maybe it was one of the other cats.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was something else.
Wow.
But anyway, that's how I got into the world, is through Gear. Not because I was trying to listen to music or whatever, but because I was trying to do video for his street clothes. And then he was like, you know, kind of a prophet of the hip hop culture. Now, I'm not going to say I didn't listen to any kind of rap or anything like that. Before that, I was big into Public Enemy. I listened to a few Beastie Boys,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But coming up in Independence, it's not a lot of culture floating around, so like you have to really dig to like find stuff. So I mean, when I finally did start to find some sort of inroads into understanding like the music culture of hip hop, and also like the sample source of a lot of the hip hop songs, you know, you would pay a lot of attention to the liner notes, check out like, you know, who where stuff was recorded, who produced it, and all that kind of stuff, and then that would lead you to other good music. So like, for example, and I know I'm skipping back and forth, but I just want to make these points. But like,
Shit, you all good?
Bro, you good.
like when I would first get introduced to someone like De La, right? And then you're like, well, shit, who are these Jungle Brothers? And who is Black Sheep? And, you know, and so it wasn't because, see, that's the other thing is I was poor as shit and living in Midtown during this time. So I had no cable TV. I have no memory of what any of the music videos for any 90s hip hop looked like because my ass was not watching cable. So every now and then I go on YouTube and type in like, you know, some shit from back in the day, like just like see what the video looks like. I had no idea.
You were watching the video for the first time.
First time.
Wow.
Happens to me all the time because I didn't know what the shit looked like. So it was all about paying attention to the liner notes. It was all about like, you know, talking to DJs. It was all about going to the shows and getting exposed to it. It was all real. It just wasn't there yet. There was no other way to get exposed to it. So
You just had immersion from the bottom up.
right, and so the first,
or just to interject real quick, I missed that.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because now there's like
so much.
So it's I don't want to say it's too much, but considering how our generation and age group consumed music, this is like mind overload. It's just
Right,
because then there's a like
it's not healthy.
the number of albums that may have come out in a year in like 1989 or 1990 that may come out in the first half of Tuesday.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? So it just becomes so much,
Especially when you're talking about new artist releases.
right?
You know.
But so yeah, I really miss having that word of mouth because if you know, one of the homeboys from the hood, you know, growing up would have been like, hey man, you need to go cop this Dougie Fresh.
Right,
I go cop that Dougie Fresh.
right, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? It was that word of mouth was the perfect cosign to make everything really go down, and it also, in my opinion, held the artists of that time period accountable. Because when they would come to do a show, that shit would be right. You know what I'm saying? They would do a show, and I'm not saying necessarily, you know, dancing and, you know, doing.
You had
all
to be
that.
just as entertaining as you were on the TV.
Right, or on the track.
On the track, right?
And you just don't have that nowadays. Oh well. So as you were saying,
So anyway, yeah, I think my first introduction into the true hip hop culture, and I was always looking for it, right? Because like you would see some glimpses in a magazine. You would see, and I'm talking about also being from Kansas City, right? You know, like, and from Independence. So I just didn't like have the invite to the underground, to the house party, to the basement, to the cookout, to whatever it was, and you just have to kind of put your feelers out there and trying to figure out what's going on, because I was always looking for this real, you know.
Yeah.
Because everything was just processed, everything was 80s, everything was whatever, and I was trying to find like, okay, where is it the place where these cats are breakdancing? Where is it the place where there's a cipher happening? Where is the basement with the records on the wall? I want to see this. And so at one point in time, following Gear's lead, he showed me like where all these underground spots were, where people were painting and whatnot. And I don't know who invited me or if anybody did or whatever, but there was this party that Danny Girl and Theo, and I'm not sure who else was spinning. There was what they called themselves the Vibe Tribe, right? This is like a pre-Flavor Pack party crew that was doing shit in KC.
Okay.
Danny Girl for sure, and Theo, and I think Jock Max, of course, was involved in this, and of course he was, Thomas. So they had this event at this place called the Rumba Box, which was roughly where the new courthouse is downtown now.
Okay.
And it was like this underground spot where it was just this red door in the back, like a freight loading door, come up in there.
Of course, you fucking talk.
And and there was like a chicken wire hallway, right? And then a control point at the end where the person would be like a carnival, like, you know, get a ticket to get in this bitch, and just like it was a gymnasium somehow in here. So I think it was like a YMCA or some shit like that. I don't know, but there was a fucking gymnasium because they had bleachers all around the sun and just like some select lighting, very dark, and crazy, and all these people at the bottom just crowding around. So I climb up the bleachers to see what the shit is happening, and I see a dude doing windmills in the space, and I'm like, oh shit, like I think I found the spot, right? And they had the DJ up in the booth. It was, and they were playing some other stuff like electro, and some stuff. It wasn't all pure hip hop, like, you know, but it was like nice. And so I introduced myself to all these different cats, Danny Girl, Theo, Jock, Jeremy, McConnell, all these people, Gear, Scribe, whoever, all these kind of local. I won't say they were the oldest school, right? So it's not like the cats that were doing it in the 80s necessarily. Right. Some of them probably started back then.
Right.
And they were just like toys at that time. Yeah. But they like developed by the point that I was paying attention to the scene.
Bro.
But
props for using toys in the cultural context, bro. Oh my God.
Everybody starts.
Oh my God.
Everybody
my God.
Everybody is. Because I mean, unless you're just some sort of prodigy.
Yeah.
But, like, everybody's a toy at some point. Like, that just means that you just haven't, you know, got there yet. That's all. It's okay.
Absolutely.
It's good. Good for you. Keep trying.
Absolutely. Be a toy soldier. That's what
it's
you
all
do.
Good. But and then from that collective of people, and people like the Heat Mob, and people like I could name names like my boys from Topeka, Devious Minds, and the Lollipop Kids back in the day, and Phoebe Low, and, you know, Basement Chemists, Coterie.
Oh man, I ain't heard that in a minute.
You know, all these people were doing it at the time. Gigi, Drez, this dude Drez, that was always a hype man for the shows. Mm-hmm. So we just kind of came together out of that Vibe Tribe, out of some other whatever else, and formed Flavor Pack. And Flavor Pack was, and that was going on for a good year or two before I joined up with it and found out about it. And Jeremy McConnell, he was also at the Art Institute. Gear was at the Art Institute. His ass got kicked out of the Art Institute. Him and Scribe got kicked out of the illustration department because they would not pay attention. And I mean, they wouldn't do the assignments the way they were told. It was all spray paint and cartoons and graffiti. And Gear at the time was, you know, he's a nutball, man. I love Gear to death, man. This guy. He had the jean jacket straight out of Warriors, you know? Right?
Yeah.
And then he had his, like, you know, designs and lettering on the back and everything. It was super old school. I mean, him and Cry are the two, like, most old school cats in Kansas City.
Man.
Yeah, Cry, for sure.
Dude.
And then homie East came down here from
Chicago. Yep.
And then it just exploded.
Was that like 94?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you had all these younger kids like myself. Now, look, I painted, but I was not amazing. I'll say that. I got up.
Yeah, buddy.
But I was never the most amazing cat. I didn't really have legal walls like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, shit, not too many people had legal walls back then.
But then you had all the next generation people like NCM, the New City Masters, like Cream, Last, and then eventually Noah and the High C Crew, and that's where you get Femme. And if you ever seen her stuff,
Femme is dope,
insane, right? right? So that's the whole lineage of Kansas City graffiti.
Smash?
Didn't know Smash. Now, I know there's like, I'm of course abbreviating quite a lot
Right.
when I say lineage. You have also, there's strange offshoots, like there was a dude named Smack.
I remember seeing Smack.
Who was everywhere, and he would like paint on churches and post offices.
Yeah, Smack didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And he finally went down for it too.
He was like the spit of Kansas City.
But he would show up. What Smack would do is he would show up at the spot. Like, you would have these spots. The graffiti artists would have a spot that they painted like on a rooftop, where you'd have to ride an elevator or some shit to see it. Right? There was one thing downtown where you had to go up in a parking garage to look across to see it. Like, you could not see it from the street any other way. So it was like a hidden gallery. Like, back in the day, these early cats didn't want to paint stuff out where it was a waste of paint.
Yeah.
Like, it was difficult.
Where it was going to get covered, yeah.
You didn't want to... So they would find these places that were like... almost like cathedrals of abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about an abandoned building that you break into, but like under a train bridge. Just like this perfect spot that was just like maintained, and it would run. That's a word that they mean to keep on going.
Right.
It would run forever. It would just stay there for like 10, 12 years, 15 years. And people would make pilgrimages to go down there and take pictures and all kinds of stuff. And shoot music videos and do whatever the fuck else too. But, like the people that really cared about it, like, had it in their books. They had, like, a documentation.
Yeah, Kansas City has a very distinct reputation nationwide for allowing pieces to remain untouched.
Yes. Like the Groove, which is the Amtrak line down, and it runs, not parallel, but perpendicular to all the main streets off the east side, like Troost and Prospect and Brooklyn and whatnot. It runs underneath there, coming out of Union Station.
Oh, that's some dope shit down there.
Yeah, for real. But anyway, there was a bunch of stuff like this that was hidden away. But what Smack would do was put some sort of like signifier, like right up at the entrance, like Smack. So then people would be like, "Oh, what's back here?" And then before you know it, all the other toys are down there, like putting stuff over top, and then and he would bring people would have like rooftops painted on their buildings that they didn't even know that they had. Because like the owners, because they couldn't even see it without going up there or whatever, and this is a time when Kansas City's West Bottoms and downtown were pretty neglected. Like, people owned property, but they didn't like stay up in
little
it,
tumbleweeds,
so things would ride forever. But he would put stuff in a way that would get it buffed out and taken down and whatnot, so that wasn't too hot. But then one of the strangest, I just got to mention his name, and I don't know, this guy ended up dead. Brass, do you remember what happened to MD?
MD, wow.
That cat, Nickel, or MD.
Come on, let's do it. Fuck it.
I was just thinking about it, and then he said something.
Buddy.
He was like an outlier of the Kansas City graffiti scene, and people need to speak his name because he wasn't amazing again. And I'm also speaking as a failed graffiti artist, I'll say.
Likewise.
Mediocre.
Likewise.
Right?
Yeah.
I was sitting over there saying me too the whole time.
I cannot let this podcast get away without telling you my ultimate graffiti story, by the way, and I forgot all about it to this moment. But so I will do that. Okay, gotta do that. But MD was up
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Places.
I didn't like him.
You didn't like
He
him?
was disrespectful.
Yeah.
Just like Smack. He fell in the Smack line.
Yeah, he was about the same quality of Smack. For sure.
Absolutely.
Except for the fact that when he painted Nickel, it was revealed to me by somebody that saw it that the dude did it all blindfolded. Like, he would just, like, and it wasn't amazing. Like, it wasn't, like, 3-dimensionals and colors and whatnot. But, it didn't wander off or anything. Like, and he had it all worked out like a hand dance. Like, perfect. So he could just, like, look around to make sure that, he wouldn't been spotted at the time. And
Interesting.
I know the East.
Now I gotta respect him a little bit.
A little bit. I know the
He
East.
did get up. He
East-
got up.
He got up.
My
but
boy
still,
East.
He was just garbage and everywhere, man.
It was, but it was everywhere.
But everywhere you thought about getting up, he was there.
Yeah, but was it great?
No.
You
No.
know, so
No.
don't be there. That's commercial to me.
Honestly, MD is one of the cats that was like, hey, man, I should go out here and try writing.
Yeah, and then he was aggressive.
But they found him dead.
Word?
And you don't know about this?
Nah.
Well, I don't want to say anything that's not real, but from what I remember, they found him in Brush Creek, just like
No shit.
like floating.
Damn.
Yeah, and I think it's been one of those like just kind of brushed under the rug things.
Not cool.
Man.
Then and that could be like complete urban legend, but you know this is pre.
I couldn't dispute it.
Yeah. What are you
And
gonna
that's
do?
the glory. That's the glory about that top.
Oh shit, for sure.
Yeah,
You
like,
know, people are like, oh, I know this is true. I heard this one time.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
There's no videos.
No.
There's no
How you gonna
videos.
prove it? How you gonna prove it?
No
You know how
newspaper.
you're gonna prove it? How forceful you are. You know. by
Nah, motherfucker, that shit happened.
Exactly.
Happened.
You're like, oh.
I was there.
Okay. You know. Yeah.
You was there when 37 people got shot?
No, you think this is a fucking game? I was there.
So, something I was there for is this graffiti story. I gotta tell you.
Okay.
So, I'm not the man to tell you all of Kansas City's graffiti. If you have any questions, ask me for sure. But it's a lot to it. But here's the story. So, myself and two other cats, Scoob and
Oh, shit.
a dude that wrote Spam. Okay, Scoob was a cat at the Art Institute. Both of them were.
I know you knew Scoob like that.
Yeah, man.
Scoob was cool though.
Yeah,
That
he
shit
was super cool.
Yeah.
Everybody thought he was mixed white and black, but he was actually Thai and Indian.
Wow.
Yeah,
Same thing.
yeah.
he
And he had like Aboriginal hair.
a word.
Yeah, and he would dye it blonde sometimes too. But he looked like some sort of. He called himself the chocolate milk intellectual, right? But anyway, word up to Scoob.
That's right.
Last I heard, he was working for the MoMA in New York, so Scoob's doing just fine.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
He's
Scoob's
good.
doing great. But it was him, and the other dude's doing great too. The other guy he did just a little bit of graffiti, just a couple times, and I think this night clinched it for him. He was done. But he wrote Spam, and this dude is Jim Mahfood, who is the comic book artist that's done a lot of work for Image Comics, and he did 40-ounce comics out of Kansas City back in the day.
I remember 40-ounce comics.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I remember that. I
So
didn't know that was
him and Mike Huddleston, these were my homies. Like I used to go over there and just talk philosophy, and these dudes would not stop drawing. They would just sit there and use me as like a podcast
Dope.
to talk to them like about religion and philosophy and government systems and whatnot, and just keep drawing. But anyway, he was the other cat doing graffiti. So we had a big old gym bag full of probably 30, 40 cans of Krylon, whatever else we could afford. We had all our piece books, right? We
I
had...
wasn't stealing cans.
No, I never did. Well, I can't remember. I can't remember.
I can't lie. Only cans I really snatched was like clearance cans.
But back
Yeah,
then,
they kept the Krylons
it was
right.
also like, you had to be up on the hunt for like cheap paint.
Yeah.
So there was this place out on all the way out on Santa Fe, 135th Street, for I-35 that had 77 cent cans of paint.
Ooh.
It was booty, but you could go out there and get a bunch. You know what I'm saying? You could get a bunch.
Don't shake it too hard. Don't shake it too hard.
But we're on the we found this place right off Broadway, right between 18th and 17th Street, which is in the crossroads right now today. But at the time, that whole zone was just like a ghost village.
Oh, yeah.
There was just nothing there.
Yeah.
And so there was this building that was up. You know how Broadway goes downhill toward the rest of the crossroads off the west side.
Yeah.
So this building was on the slope. So the backside was like 6 feet, 8 feet tall. right? And the front was 25 feet. So you could just run, just grab the edge of the roof and whoop, swing right up. Because it was just right up at the top. And, you know, I was 20-something and I could move like a chimpanzee. So, I'm on the roof. I got the bag. Scoob is nuts on the edge of the roof. He's about to hoist his other leg and spams down in the alley. And we hear, freeze! And I'm like, oh shit, it's the cops. But it was not the cops.
It was the Barneys.
There was a house at the end of the street where one single psycho dude lived. He had like a Rottweiler, a Mossberg street sweeper, and he looked like the Big Lebowski. He looked like the dude out of Big Lebowski. So this guy was at the edge of the alley. He had us all get down off the rooftop and lay spread eagle on the ground while the dog was all like snuff, 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 snuff. You know, like at the back of your ears, and he's like got the edge of the shotgun like near your head, and you know we're damn near pissing ourselves and everything, and we're pushing forward the bag. He thinks we're burglars. Because people have been breaking in and stealing copper and like all this other kind of stuff. And we had to convince him slowly over time that we're actually doing graffiti. And then he was like, well, I'll tell you fucking what, I'm an artist too.
Oh shit!
I paint. So just get the fuck out of here, but don't come back or you will end up, you know, shot or in jail or whatever it was. Damn. And so we leave high on life, you know, in my 77 LTD. That
nice.
Painted with graffiti all over it. There's a giant penis on the hood.
Nice.
On the back it says "word."
Fresh.
And then I have like the Irish flag and like it says "who's the man" and like in Celtic lettering on the sides. And that's the machine that actually I couldn't afford a real radio. So I hot wired in a 12-volt boombox. So I could actually
oh my god, fucking TommyLift
off the radio up in the ride, and then use a microphone and like drop rhymes with the speakers going out the windows. And I also had a chain link on the doors because all the doors broke, so I put fucking padlocks on it. And yeah, it was nuts.
What?
So anyway, I'm leaving. What was the story again?
What the hell?
Man,
oh yeah, so this Big Lebowski lets us go. We hop up in Word. We take off down the matrix of streets that was the proto crossroads. You know, like all these abandoned warehouses and whatnot. And what do you know? Whoop whoop. So it's the cops. They got us pulled over now. And they're going through all our shit. And they see that we got paint all over our hands. We got the piece books there. We got the duffel bag full of paint. Like, and he's like, oh, so you're Mick. That's what I painted back in the day was Mick.
Okay.
He's like, oh, so you're Mick. He's like, we got some shit on you. Like, because at that point, too, like, it's because East came down from Chicago, shit really popped off, and people started painting along Brush Creek. That's what caught their attention. They were like, oh, hell no.
Oh yeah, no.
So the plaza, oh hell no. So they actually had a vice squad come down from Chicago that knew how to read graffiti lettering, because the police in Kansas City before were just like, it looks like Greek to me. I don't know what to say. So they had this crew come down and they actually took pictures of everything and categorized. I saw the cop had a thing to compare it to. This is before you could pull something up on the phone or whatever. They had like binders full of like.
Yeah, I didn't know they was really task forcing it out here. Like
they were pissed. Oh yeah. At the time, they were pissed.
Oh my god!
Our city has become known for like it's cool to. This is before hip hop and graffiti and all this stuff was like accepted. Like you could not put it on the television unless it was some sort of special event, whatever. I mean, cable,
bubblegum sheets.
UMTV raps or whatever. I'm just saying that, and the idea of graffiti was offensive. Like you see it all over the crossroads, all these legal walls, all this product labels, whatever. We're so saturated now with it. I'm talking about a time when you play a rap song and your mom would cover her ears.
Yeah.
This is so.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were coming down hard on us. So here's the story culmination. Is I'm telling you, man, it's real. So they say, "Oh, we got your ass now," and they're going through the binders and they're looking at all the stuff and wearing the zip ties and all this good stuff. And then at that moment on the radio, there comes a call in that says that there's 3 youths being held on the ground with a man with a shotgun 5 blocks from here. So they're like, "It's your lucky night, boys. We got bigger fish to fry. Cut the zip ties."
Oh my God!
Rescue y'all.
And we saved our own skins. You know what I'm saying? It was us that they were calling in on.
Oh my God!
Thank you, police.
You ain't never told
Thank
me
you,
that.
friends.
Wow.
Thank you, friends. I have the luck of the Irish.
Hey,
Even to this point.
I do.
God. I got a story to go along with Lucky Night. That is the best shit I heard since the Lucky Night. I'll tell you that one.
Please take it away,
Jesus.
Brash's Clay.
No, I cannot top that. I'm not going after that.
Hey, hold on. No, yeah, for sure. But I do remember vividly
Wow.
walking into Zowie's
Oh, for real? Exactly.
back in the day, and you had to like before you walked out to your car, you got them fat caps on your son.
Yeah. Zowie's.
We
And
know
then,
where you get
what
those
was
fat
it-
caps.
What was it? Was Zowie's? What was it called before Zowie's? Was it always Zowie's?
I think it was always
When it was to get the caps from it, it was out.
You know, the people that owned that place owned Erotic City out in Independence.
no
Are
shit.
you serious?
It was
What?
yep,
What?
that was like their I mean, they're all about the novelties, right? So totally
makes
makes
sense.
sense. It's just a niche market where they're like, I know that
makes
people
sense.
this is cool, people the kids like it, whatever. Yep. That was the same people that owned Erotic City. Yeah, and I think there's not that I go to Erotic City, but I'm just saying I think it's definitely new ownership
I do.
over the years.
I've been there a couple times.
I've never been
seen
in
those
that one.
lady.
I'm saying I've
But
been
it
in
was,
some. I remember the place that was out on Prospect in like 87th.
Yeah.
You know,
Strip joint?
Yeah, I remember that one.
I don't even know if it had.
After Dark Video?
I don't know if it even had a name.
It was a whole district out there at one point.
Yeah, that was the red light district for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah, oh yeah.
It was like 5 porn stars.
And the 4
5
Acres
porn stores.
Motel right down
4
the
acres.
street.
Yes, sir.
Porn, get your hooker. And
Yeah, man, there was all kind of human trafficking going
Oh
on.
my God,
Woof.
terrible.
What was that spot back in the day on Troost, right north of Eastwood Traffic Way, where the CVS is now? Used to be the spot that had
Not Truth Van Brunt.
no.
Truce.
It was Truce.
I know what
100%.
you're talking about.
You talking about
You said
Inferno?
Eastwood Traffic.
No, not the Inferno.
Hold on, y'all said Eastwood Traffic
Inferno
Way and
was
Truth.
further down. I'm talking about right
He's talking about,
where
he's talking about Rush Street.
the
Oh, okay.
CVS is, or the Walgreens, whatever that built. Right across from the KFC.
Oh yeah. The old
So,
building, yeah.
There used to be this old shit there that was like plywood, and it had like murals of like a desert with camels and like dancing girls.
Yeah.
And the shit got weirder when you drove around back. It had like additional plywood signs that it almost looked like a carnival, like a bar, like some old.
That
school
was a
strip
strange
club,
building for like 20
Some
years.
things happening up in there. I
There
mean,
was some things happening.
there was
up
some
in there.
things happening.
So
Now,
was it after hours?
it was just like
It was
it was
a spot.
I think. It
okay.
used
You
to
know
be
the
a club
Mr. Rogers
or a restaurant.
neighborhood. This was like the dark, bizarro world version, and I'm of not Mr. Rogers and himself, but the crazy puppets, right? The little theater,
Never Land.
all these little weird shits. That thing was like the dark Tim Burton version of one of those things in real life, and dusty and run down and mold and there was another spot down like what is it, like 30, what's that spot that had the inverted pyramid floor with the bar in the middle? Man,
What?
it's on Troost, and it's like on the
On the west side.
on the east side.
It's on the east side.
It's on the east side, and it's one of those building rows that has all those like beautiful terracotta and whatnot. In fact,
You
talking about the Cove?
The Cove.
Oh yeah, I was just.
And what's Miss So and So's popcorn in there?
Oh
Kernel
yeah,
corn.
the Colonel Corn spot. That
I
shit
used
was
to know
fire.
a dude named Jerry.
Jimmy Crack Corn. That's what
Jimmy
it was.
Crack corn. There was a dude I knew named Jerry Jackson. He called himself Coco J. And he lived in that building in a hallway above the steps. It was just like a suspended hallway with steps up to one side and steps down the other. And he just had this galley hallway. I mean, it's like a habit trail made of sheetrock up in that bitch. It was so bizarre. And the codes non-existent.
This is all like just like.
And he was an R&B singer. I used to try to do some production for him, but he fell off, and I had to toss his shit. I'm sorry.
Shit.
Sorry, Coco J.
This is like Tommy Lift's life. It's like strange buildings, like
That's right. Underground.
always.
And stranger encounters.
I mean, the strangest
yeah.
building of all was
Strange
where
buildings
the
and strange
64111 clinic is.
Absolutely,
Right?
Absolutely, dude. Let's talk about
Okay.
Proto Clinic.
Proto Clinic.
told
Okay,
you.
so I
You
know
wasn't me.
the Gamby family
Yep.
through back in the day. My first recording that I actually made, besides some shit on cassette tape or whatever, was some DATs that I recorded at the Mint, which was over on the
38th and
right.
or 40th and
Old
state
Westport,
line.
right? Old West, yeah. Okay, so homie's dad owned the Mint, and he was half white, half Korean
Yep,
guitar player that was a badass.
he was cold.
You knew this cat.
I used to record at the Mint.
Okay, so I was in a band with him called called Fro. Was the name of the group, Fro, and they were looking for a rapper, and so that was my first group where I would like rhyme and then he would sing, and the drummer was insane. His name was Manny Herrera, and he was just became a lifelong friend. Rest in peace, Manny. He had an accident with a four-wheeler.
Oh man.
Yeah. Several years, 10, 12 years ago now. But anyway, Sam, I think that's his name, the guy that sung and played guitar, was in high school with Jamal at Paseo.
Mhm.
And we did this album. And then the singer was Shane Evans.
Oh, no shit.
You know Shane?
I
sounds familiar.
met him a couple of times.
He's done like children's books and all kinds of
Singing?
cool stuff. Shane
I
Evans?
didn't know that motherfucker sang.
Yeah, he sang. And so
Kind of weird, but it's okay.
So we did some original tracks and some covers and whatnot and so forth.
Shane
But it was like the first thing that I ever did, and it was nice and it was cool. And then I met Jamal through Shane, and I remember at the time him and Jazz were living at Nisha's with the grandma Sandy, and just spent a lot of time with Jamal and Jazz. We kind of all, even though they were younger than me, I came at the hip hop culture in my 20s, and they came at it in their 14 and 15.
Right.
And so we were not so far apart that we couldn't connect. And at the time, I had a job working at one of these fast sign places, making vinyl graphics and whatnot. And there was this cat that worked there that was into like.
Was that the one on Armor?
No, it was actually on Antioch.
Okay, gotcha.
Out on 95th Street. I had to come actually because this is another whole story, but I actually used to teach at music to adults with mental disabilities and stunted mental growth and whatnot, autism, all kinds of different other symptoms. It was a mishmash, horrible state-run home, to be very honest, out in Grandview. But I had dreadlocks at the time.
Nice.
And they fired me because they said that I was setting a bad example for the adults there that couldn't brush their teeth, let alone I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying it was some bullshit. So
Yeah.
I put my hair up in a tam, and I was able to get this job at the Fast Signs, and because again, this is the time when people cared about this bullshit.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking.
It was a
matter.
big deal. No, it was a
That
big
shit
fucking
was
deal.
bullshit, but it was like people would freak out over all this stuff. It's so stupid. But and this cat that worked there had this software for doing audio recording. It was Sonic Foundry,
Yeah, buddy.
Soundforge,
Yeah, buddy.
and Acid in Vegas. And then, of course, those got bought by
Thank you,
by
sir.
Sony,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And then there was a whole bunch of other little experimental, weird, plug-ins and standalones. And this guy had like a whole hard drive full of all the stuff, everything you could ever imagine. And at the time, it was like the shit. And so, like, running like a Windows like 98 or XP, using this stuff, it was like nothing you'd ever seen. And before that, I've been producing on an Insonic ASR 10, and then I had the ASR X, and I had Roland drum machines, and I had the Dr. Rhythm, and I had the fucking Alesis SR 16, and all kinds of shit. And we used to go up in pawn shops and loan shops and try to get all this equipment, on the cheap, and spend your last fucking dime at big dudes. I probably bought when I bought my ASR 10. I paid
from big dudes?
$2,500.
Ooh, Jesus!
And you know how I did it? Is I don't have shit, so I got a credit card, and
Oh,
boom, shalak lock, boom.
Let me hit you with something real quick.
Yeah.
I had Acid for about a year before he did, right? This motherfucker goes and gets it. And I'm talking to Highlander. He comes over, looks at it like, oh, yeah, that's what Tommy making beats in. I was like, man, I done had this shit for forever. I can't figure it the fuck out. He was like, Tommy showed me this, and this. I'm like, motherfucker.
Well, see, because I was a video editor.
Saved me
right?
$2,500.
So, like, for me, I hated using the Insonic. I hated using the Alesis. I hated using the Boss. I hated using I didn't want to fuck with that. What's everybody use? The
Triton.
No, I have a Triton, but I'm talking about the
But it's for
Kai,
kids.
right?
Pads and shit.
Oh yeah. NPC.
The NPC.
Yeah.
Because it's just a calculator screen. I hate that shit. I want to see the entire piece of music. I
Damn
want to see
straight.
start to end. I want to see
Hell
all the
yeah.
wave files. I want to see where things are. I don't want to see like measure 6 bar 2 dis dum ticketum tum.
And then you had to stack all these
that-
channels.
And look, much respect to a
Brain
DJ.
doesn't
your
work
head.
like that.
Much
Yeah.
respect to the DJ that can do all of it in their brain and coordinate the beat and the beat juggling and the matching and the timing and do all of it. Much respect. I'll never get tired of watching that happen. But I'm just saying, I'm not interested in that. I just want to.
But they getting tired doing it.
I just wanted to make the music, and I just wanted to. And so to me, a computer was much more ideal so to see the entire scope of the project than to try to have notes written out about what's going to come up on your screen next every 5 seconds on like a little TRS-80 screen right here on this, So that's when I started making beats with Acid and Soundforge and stuff like that. And I did a couple little mini releases. I did this thing called Raw Cuts. I was actually at the time I was doing a lot of collaboration work with like other bands and music groups, mostly like art groups. Like I don't know if y'all remember like TJ Dovebelly.
Yes.
The cat that would scratch 8 tracks.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah. And this is a group called Sky Burial, and there was another group called Djembe Khan that was like kind of traditional, I think like West African drumming.
TJ
And I would-
Man,
Dovebelly was that
TJ
shit.
Dovebelly used to
That was that
gig
shit,
the
boy.
fuck out of shit, man.
But I would get up in these and work with these people and just do like collaborative work, and we'd go play college towns and stuff like that, and around Missouri and whatnot. Nothing huge, you know. And I would lug my 2-screen monitor setup, CRT monitors, full tower and keyboard, and the whole gym bag full of cabling and a Mackie and everything else. You know, like just ridiculous. And also to top it off, I would put it on a gurney. I had these medical gurneys that I would show up like fucking like Cool Keith, and like, you know, set the whole setup on this thing that I could roll around. So it took like 2 people to lift. It was crazy. It was like the ultimate DJ lug-in, you know.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. But I would play with all these different groups, and then actually I started another group at the time called 3-0, because it was just 3 of us. It was like a trio. It was me, this jazz cat named Bill McCamey on upright bass, and then DJ Flotilla on the turntables.
Man, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Right.
That's who I was.
He goes by Sunday Grip now. He lives, I think he's in Portland.
Yeah, in Portland, I didn't know that.
Or Seattle, one or the other. And we actually have an album that we did already. I have an instrumental album that I did with Flotilla. It's called Dirty Dirty. And it's just tracks. There is no rap. I mean, actually, there's one rap. Oh my God. There's one rap. It's kind of, it's part embarrassing, and it's also part like super pride, because it's like the ultimate hidden track.
Yeah.
But it's me and Joe Good.
Oh shit.
So that's on this thing, and it's talking about, okay, you know how I was talking about earlier how like it ain't shit when you get your drums off of, you know, some sort of like pro pack or this or that, or, you know, you got to go out and find them. So me and Joe Good did acid one night and walked through the West Bottoms with a mini disc recorder and a microphone and recorded all of the sounds of the trains and the pigeons flying and the truckers going by and the wind shaking things, and me and him grabbing random pieces of wood and metal off the ground and like hitting them on train tracks and things, and we made this whole kit of drums that's like you know, acoustic environmental sounds from the West Bottoms. And we did this song called I think it's called Iron Worm, and it's about the trains, right? You know, like the Iron Snake or Iron Worm, you know. So you hear the sound of the there's like, if you ever pause at the side of a train track and see when the trains are going over certain spots, they kind of have a rhythmic sound, like
Absolutely.
wub 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 wub. So that's what we used as the background of the track, and it's got the squeak, like the squeal of the brakes, like wub wub, you know. And so it's just one verse each, me and Jamal on that thing, and mine, you know, I'm just getting going, but his was sick, and like you know, I've known the cat since he was like 15 years old, and when I first met him, it was through Sam, and he wasn't really, you know, like I wasn't. You didn't know about the real culture.
Right.
Like, what are you gonna do? You're in your mama's house, right? And there is no internet. There's nothing. So he, of course, was listening to like local gangster rap and all this other kind of stuff. But you know, it was kind of like I became kind of a mentor to him, and he became like the mentor to me. You know, because he picked up on shit so incredibly fast, and you know, became like the guy that the Heat Mob said is outside the, you know, the essence. You know, like at 15 years old with his mom in the car, like you know, he just ate it up. So
All right, boy, if I see you at that bar, I'm smack your head and shit. We're going, come on.
We had.
Get it.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a minute.
That's my dude.
I see Jazz all the time.
That St. Jazz a while back.
But anyway, long story short, we were in a couple groups together back then. In fact, one of them was called the Solution, and it was this cat that his dad was the pastor at this Baptist church down in the Grove off of, you know what I'm talking about, the Grove Park and the Grove down there. And we used to go up in there and practice because they had the organ. So one cat would play on the organ, another guy saxophone, another guy drum the kit, and then I would rap and Joe would rap, and I can't remember if there was any other musicians. But one time we were supposed to do we were dope. I thought it was dope. Like, you know, it was kind of like Goody Mob, but before you heard of them.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to play in Westport. We were supposed to open for the Brown Fellinis. Just this sight unheard band. Like, you're okay, you can do it, fine, great, come on. And then these guys like pushed out because they said that they were scared that there was too many Mexicans in Westport and they were going to be killed.
What?
Yeah, it was the most ridiculous thing you ever heard. But on the way there to one of these practices, I actually drove through the Benton riots that were happening in the city at the time. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yeah, we was sitting down the street of tires.
By this point in time, I had graduated to a nicer hoopty. It was a powder blue LTD from the early 80s. Thank you very much. I had a banana yellow one too. I used to have the LTDs for days. But I was driving through, I was trying to get onto Benton off of like, it must have been Linwood or whatnot, or 31st. And, the police were blocking it off, so I just went a block around because I didn't know. I thought it was just this. But then all of a sudden there was like things on fire and cats smashing windows out with a mailbox and all kinds of stuff. But I was just miraculously just driving through it in a powder blue LTD. Just trying to get to band practice because this is the time you don't have a cell phone yet, so you got to have a pager, and you got to leave a note on the porch door. And I stopped by, but you weren't here, so call me at 2:00 at the Circle K, and then hopefully we can get together this afternoon and get this song worked out. You know, shit was crazy.
Whew.
But eventually, flash forward in time, we get to the point where Jazz had his studio already out at the college. I recorded a couple things there, the raw cuts thing. I came out there to the dorm room.
You did that at South Yater?
Yep.
Oh shit!
100%. And I'm the guy that gave Jazz all his software. So the original software that he was recording off of.
So you don't even realize that you're like partially responsible for me even do it.
No, I realized.
Oh my god! Oh.
Yeah, so I hooked Jazz up with everything that I had, and then he quickly graduated to something bigger and better once he realized the potential.
Yeah.
Of course. Right? Yeah. And, you know, I recorded clients for years on Vegas and had Pro Tools, but was just like, I don't feel like learning it, you know? And eventually, I just essentially left it at the Mob Studio because I knew that they were using it more than I was, and that I wasn't going to get to it. I mean, it was outdated at that time anyway, so it's like, you know, better Taha to get use of it and Jimmy to get use of it or whoever. But
I remember back in the
I bought my Pro Tools from Lonnie Love.
Oh wow!
I seen Lonnie Love today.
Lonnie Love, I think
The
it was
first time about 6
$2,000
years.
to Lonnie Love. I put $2,000 cash in Lonnie Love's hand. So bless you, Lonnie Love.
Hey, I remember back in the day of the highlights of digital piracy. Talking to Jazz, and he was like, I'm like, well, what are you recording? He's like, man, I'm using fucking acid and fucking Vegas and shit. And he's like, I was like, yeah, how you like that? Cause like I had Cakewalk, I think at the time, you know what I mean? But I couldn't fucking figure it out, you know what I mean? And he was telling me all the acid and Vegas shit was all loop based. So I was like, I can get with that. You can cut and paste, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I was like, but is it that dope? He's like, yo, TommyLift use it, bro.
Well, before that, I had this program called, I think it was called Sound Edit 16, and it was like SoundForge.
That's the predecessor to the Cool Edit Pro, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah,
but all
I think
know
so.
is that you it had no quantization, so you just had to like cut it, paste it, listen,
and make sure it was right. It go right back.
Nope. Move it. Nope. And every bar. You know, like you couldn't even. I don't even think you could. Maybe you can cut and paste groups.
Wasn't no snap or nothing?
Nah. It didn't have anything like that. It was just like it was like Guitar Hero, right? Like we as I understand, I don't know shit about video games. I just thought I'm talking about.
So these Guitar Hero snap the grid.
Or GarageBand or whatever.
Yeah.
It was worse than all that though. That's 100%. Yeah. But I hooked him up with that stuff. That's what I used, and fuck yeah, man. Like I just realized that it was a hell of a lot easier to make your own beats than to try to get a band to practice together. Because I went through many a band. Like I had talking about this dude Mickey or Manny Herrera, who was the drummer in the first group I was with in Fro. He and I were in another band called Meat and Potatoes.
Meat and potatoes, baby.
And Meat and Potatoes had me and him. This was like back when this is when like the Fuji La La came out about this time. So I remember that because we had a chick singer that was like always singing that during the warm ups and whatnot. So and a guy playing stand up bass and a guy playing the harmonica, and it was kind of like bluesy hip. It was like proto Everlast.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like there was no such thing. He was still straight up in the House of Pain at that time. There was no example of that kind of thing, but we did. That was Meat and Potatoes, and it was local Kansas City stuff. And we used to practice in this dentist's office basement on 63rd and right off 63rd and Troost, just a couple blocks west.
Oh, wow.
This dentist office. And,
The standalone building.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I know the one you're talking
like
about.
a 60s architecture looking place.
Yeah.
Across the street from the gas station.
Correct. Yes. And in the basement there was like 5 bands that would practice down there.
Really?
And it had like it looked just like this, right? You know, you got your couch, your lights, your basement, but then it also had like, you know, tooth models and like weird kind of like dentist cast-offs.
That's wild.
Antique drills and sinks and things in the corner. But it was basically a fruit fly factory, you know, with carpet hanging off the walls and like beers that had been there for 6 months. But it was nice. It was a hotbed for you know, music production, and then eventually, me and Jazz got together along with a revolving cast of other musicians to get the spot going up on the corner of Summit where the clinic is now still.
But so let me make sure I got this right. Did y'all started at that address together?
Mm-hmm. I found it, and then brought him aboard.
Yes. That's what I.
And then and then I found other people too, because see, I've worked for a real estate company that's not like your average, like sheetrock and drop ceiling strip mall kind of bullshit.
Right.
I work for some really interesting people that work in around the West Bottoms and the West Side, and they have all these old antique buildings, and they encourage a lot of artists and musicians and all kinds of things like that. And I just kind of stumbled into it. I used to be a video editor, and I lost my job during the whole .com thing, and I went out that day and found a job laying brick for $7 an hour because I wanted to tell them I'm on my lunch break, you can fuck off, you know, when I came back to get my gear out of my studio. So I ended up getting ingrained in this kind of neighborhood and working with these cool people who did, you know, all this properties. And God damn it, I lost my train of thought. In any case, so I know what it was right now. So I was like, you know, me and Jeremy had rented down the West Bottoms in the early 90s, and we did the flavor pack thing. We had a building, right? And we did events to raise money. So we kind of figured out like a little bit about how.
Was that a graffiti cafe?
No, that was in the Crossroads, but down in the West Bottoms there's this place called the Dirt Gallery.
Yes.
There's some crazy shit that pops off there.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that I learned at a certain point, like if you want to have a big building like we had for the clinic, right? You know, and you want to try to break into this world when you're have zero experience or anything like that. But working for these real estate folks kind of gives you some insights, right? And so when we rented down at the Dirt Gallery, it was always drama, right? You know, like, oh, this month we can't afford the light bill. Then this month, you know, we're freezing out in this old warehouse, and no one gives a fuck because you're not supposed to be there legally anyway.
Right.
And same kind of thing up on where the clinic is now. That was this old man. His name was Joseph Magliciano. He was this old Italian man. He looked like Grandpa Munster. And he would meet, and he had this sign that was like this big on the side of the building that said, for rent, phone number. Nothing else. Just like go down to Strasser Hardware and get like a 5-cent sign and put it on there. He was a cheap ass. And so I called the number and asked, I was like, I want to rent it. And he says, you, sir, are the first person that has not tried to swindle me out of this building. You want to actually pay me rent every month. I will rent to you, but it's going to be $1,000 cash on the first of the month at noon on the corner. So, like, no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, I don't give a fuck what's happening in your life. You will be there at
With
noon
my money.
with my money.
Drop off.
On that corner.
And so we did this, you know, and I would do it. And me and Jazz were the anchor tenants, as you would call it. And so one of the things I learned doing stuff like at the Flavor Pack building was that what we needed to do was just all pay in excess of what our necessities were. So if you know the rent is $1,200 or $1,000, everybody that's chipping in is chipping enough to make it $2,000.
Right.
And then you put that money in a bank account, right?
Yeah.
And then when them big bills come, there's a cushion.
Yep.
And then when it's lean, it's no one feels the pain,
Right.
you know, because they're already used to paying it. They don't need to know where all that money's going. So that's what we do is just like get a couple other people at a time that would chip in. And some of them turn out to be people that I actually kick it with to this day. But I had my studio in there. Jazz had his studio in there. There's this dude, Patrick, that had a studio. He did like experimental dark Satan music.
Who
Smoking
was
that
it? Flotilla that was all
And
the way
then
in the back.
Flotilla was
Yes.
in there too. Flotilla was.
Dude.
There was another guy, I forget his name right now. That was some sort of like indigenous hippie guy that would play like skin drums.
Dude,
and
that
raised
building,
rice or some shit.
that building when y'all first got in there. Now I had actually, I met you twice, right, from two different corners, right. I came through with Jazz one time, and then I don't know if you remember, but Lou and Cerrone are my cousins.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, Roscoe and Nobody are my cousins.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't play.
Yeah.
around my way.
Best thing going, and
And Sabrina is my neighbor.
Oh wow, for real?
Wait a minute. Roscoe Lou?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Roscoe Rivers.
yeah.
Lou.
Fuck out of here.
That's my cousin.
For real.
The fuck
Yeah.
outta here.
Yeah, so you know they're on. Have you heard them on the Stack Deck album?
Yeah, on Best Thing Going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roscoe
Okay.
Rivers is the best thing going.
I let you another hidden track that didn't make it on the High Times.
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah.
Or was it on the Lift Your Hand side?
Yeah, on the Lift Your Hand. No,
It was on the High Times?
I think it's supposed to be on the
High
High Times. One or two. I was looking at that the other day.
So, I'd been talking to Jazz. He wanted to get, get into someplace real. And, man, I had such aspirations for that building. I had 5 booths in line of sight.
I remember this
And
play. Yeah.
It was never done yet, though.
Yeah.
But I had one that was finished, and that was the one that was supposed to be for the drum kits.
Yeah.
Because it was big, and
Yes.
it was like 6x9 or 8x9 or 8x12. It was huge. And then it had a big slanted mirror, patio door
Yep.
that I repurposed. And at the time, I knew this cat that gave away Herman Miller office furniture left and right. Like, he would take all the frames off of the padded part and scrap them for metal. But he didn't know what to do with all the padding. So I used that shit and insulated my house. I insulated the sound booths of the studio. I built Jazz's booths,
Yeah.
all
With
that
all that
stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's all made out of
built
like.
our booth for this shit.
And
too.
at the
Dude,
Mob Studio.
let me tell you something about
He's a mad scientist.
any kind of building that's been touched by
In
Tommy Lift.
LEL's studio, I did some shit.
Oh,
Damn, for real.
I don't know if I think I just did consultant work there. Man, when I was at LEL's house, shout out to this guy, we rolled like a double blunt.
Oh yeah.
This sucker
yeah.
was like 12 inches long.
Oh yeah. You gonna smoke?
I didn't really know LEL all that much. I recorded with him on the High Times Volume 1 mixtape with Highlander.
Yeah.
And he was cool as fuck. And he was supposed to have a joint on the Lift Your Hand side, but I don't think that ever happened. So,
Nah, I don't think so.
But
That's my man I went to high school with.
But anyway, I went out to his spot to help him do some consultant work and figure out how to lay out his studio. And we rolled this blunt, and my ass passed out. I was gone. Gone. And the next thing I know, like, I'm coming back to consciousness, and he was such a gentleman. He had, like, a wet towel, and all this stuff.
You gonna be all right, boy. You gonna be all right.
That's exactly
you gonna be all right.
That's exactly. He was like comforting me.
You gonna be all right, boy. Don't even worry about
You
it.
come to in a place you had never been. All this stuff. You know, it's a little disconcerting. So, but he was like, he was
like
there.
about to die in my
He was
house.
like the shaman. You know.
Yeah,
So what's up,
that's
LA?
high class. Emphasis on high.
Shout out LEO. He's got something he's been working on for a little bit. That I was over there a couple months ago. Well, I guess it's been a little more than a couple months, but not too long ago. But played some stuff for me, and I was like, oh, okay. You
Nice.
you making you know what I'm saying? Reminding the motherfuckers that you still around, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What's up with Nesto? Is he still?
Oh man, Nesto passed away.
Oh, fuck.
You didn't know that?
No.
You didn't know that?
I
A few
did
years.
not.
Was it a few years back?
That was a few years back.
It was about
Did not
4 or 5
know.
years
My
ago
bad.
now, maybe.
Yeah,
My
man.
bad. My bad. Yeah.
Rest in power, man.
And his brother?
I think still around.
I'm not sure.
Okay. He was making beats. I forget his exact name. God forgive me, but okay. Nesto passed. Damn.
Yeah.
I have that copy of that. What was that hip hop magazine that was kicking it or
Dementia?
Dementia?
Yeah.
I got that issue with Nesto. on
Shout
the
out to
cover.
Milburn.
Mhm.
Man,
So yeah, we did that. We did this clinic there, and man, I love Jazz. He's my boy. Just OG, 100%.
Hold on, real quick. I just want to go. The prototypical building or space that's been touched by TommyLift. Maximum 65% light. Right?
Fair enough.
Right?
Fair enough.
Like, I swear to God, it has to be some dust somewhere. Like, I mean, it could be a spectacular building, but there's got to be a little corner somewhere
Yeah.
where you can see some dust reflect off a light.
Right. Gotta make it a little grimy.
It's like hip hop
Soaks.
film noir.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like smoke, absolutely smoke. There's definitely a used beer bottle, beer or alcohol bottle, right? And yeah, the biggest CRT screens known to man.
You can feel
like CRT screens that cannot fit as passengers in cars.
Yeah.
bigger than a floor model TV.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
But they just took a floor model TV, put
And
a
put a stand on
2-inch
it.
piece of plastic on it, and just wrote Gateway on the side of it. Here's your monitor. Here's monitor 1.
oh damn.
He's like, but I'm waiting to get the other monitor the same size. So this one's only just like 2 inches smaller.
Did
but
you ever see my experimental marching PC setup? Because, you know,
what?
I'm part of a KC Mardi Gras crew. And we do a Mardi Gras every year. We didn't do this last year with COVID, but in March all the way from the west side down to the Musicians Mutual Foundation.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So, one of my bosses, I work for these two eccentrics. One of them is the money man, and one's the businessman.
Mm.
Or businessman and dreamer. That's
Right.
what I meant to say. So the dreamer's got himself
Visionary.
he bought this little coffee shop that he's going to try to get going. That's right down the street from IMKC.
Oh, word.
Roman's
Okay.
Shop. Right.
Dope.
Could have worn my prospect hat tonight instead, but I had to rock this from the Super Flea.
Nice.
But and so
I need to visit the flea. It's been a while.
yeah, they got some crazy stuff there. Man. That place is like, it's a spot.
Not right now though, because it's hot as hell. That means it's
Yeah.
hot as hell inside the super flea.
Smells like a burrito for 2 weeks.
Mm.
Yeah.
Man, and ass.
It is.
Burrito.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Mardi Gras, so they do the second line in KC at like 5 in the morning through the west side.
Okay.
Go around and play like the drum line and brass and all this stuff. So I had this battery operated rolling PC tower that's actually from the operating room. It's on a motorcycle.
You had a fucking cow? You riding around with a cow in a parade.
I had a
Computer on wheels. That's
a
a
harness,
That's what they,
like
oh
for
my god.
for tom-toms attached to this thing, so I could march.
Bro, what the fuck, dog?
with it. Yeah,
God damn!
I done heard it all.
yeah,
Holy shit!
yeah. It was nuts.
Oh,
This motherfucker TommyLift out here marching with PCs.
oh my god!
Yeah,
And as always, on the low,
it has
on the low.
like
How
a
does that?
waterproof, like blood-proof, like keyboard and mouse that like
How
are
in the
stuck
21st?
to the-
I thought the
How in
weird
the 21st
truck
century
with the battery.
do you march at 5 a.m. with the computer on a hospital equipment, and this does not make social media?
Well, there was
It
no
was
social
before
media.
social media.
Oh, jeez.
There was no social media.
Oh, I thought you was talking about you did this like last year or something.
No,
like you're full. Like,
man.
okay.
No.
What was in that truck you had? The radio in the one weird truck, the weird shaped truck you had. That you had hooked up with some alligator clips and some wild shit. It
Well, I
was
realized a long time
crazy.
ago that car stereos cost a lot of money,
Oh shit.
but you can go to a pawn
Say
shop
that.
and get like a Sony boombox for like $50. But if you open up the back of the boombox, you realize it's 12 volts, right?
Oh shit.
So I would get all these hoopties that had like nothing but paper speakers in the back that were all blown out,
Yeah.
and AM stereos, and I would just rip that shit out or not, and then just find a lead to the battery and just solder in some leads on the battery compartment
Holy shit,
of
man.
the boombox, and then you have a car stereo,
You know who I'm finding in the apocalypse, boy?
and you can just
Oh no, yeah. I'm looking for TommyLift.
You just take the
You
speakers.
best believe.
You just take the speakers on and just splice the wires and put them where you want them. Like so I could record, I could dub, I could play, I could do all that stuff, and I did that in almost all the cars I had during the '90s. And,
Oh my god.
and early 2000s, and actually the word on the back was like carried. It was word 1, word 2, word 3. All this stuff. I used to have a postal Jeep with a right-hand drive. I think that was word 4.
Oh my god.
It was nuts. But yeah, I'm always experimenting. I mean, that's what artists have to do, right? You don't have the money for something. You just have to.
You gotta
figure
make
out the
something
come
work.
up.
Yeah.
You have to get it come up. You have to figure it out. You have to like put your brain on it and go, okay, well, what else works? I had a karaoke machine wired in too, one time, and that was nice.
Damn.
But
Damn.
The West Side Wizard.
Straight up.
That's what
I
he's
just
in my
I just
phone
like
as
to
right
fuck
now.
Straight up.
Kind of like I just like to mess with things. I like to build, and that's what's been my downfall and also my life's refocus. If you haven't seen me or heard about me in the last 10 years, it's because I've been just steady working on a house. I live on the west side. I live on the top of the hill on the west side up by Observation Park. Okay.
Mm.
And I had bought this house from 1880, and it was garbage. But it was a good price and a good neighborhood. So I just gutted it, and I've been like building everything from scratch myself for like the last 15 years. And that's what I'm doing. And so like right now I'm working on like the last room, which is the kitchen. And I've done a lot of, and I worked as a property manager for these old antique buildings on the west side, everything that you think of as like stereotypical west side or, you know, crossroads with like the architectural details and all these kind of things that are like, you know, exemplary of the building materials of the time.
Yeah.
And the quality. That's the kind of places that these guys specialize in. So I've been trying to do that with my house too. So I have
got
like,
you.
know, and also because I didn't have kids, I turned like whole bedrooms into a bathroom and another whole bedroom into a closet, and I used all these like antique materials. I have a concrete bathtub that like is like long enough for me to lie down in and be submerged.
Fucking TommyLift, dude.
And that's what I've been up to. I've just been hiding out up there, like working on this house up on the hill.
Shit.
It's dope.
And
Let me tell you.
so it's taken a lot of my time.
Well, as somebody who's been in and out and about, you know, in that time that you've been working on your house, I can say that you really haven't missed a lot.
Nah, you ain't.
For real?
Let me mess with you on this. I remember we was out in the back of Jazz in the studio one time. Tommy was like, "Look, there goes my stove." I was like, that's rusty ass piece of shit over there with mold growing at it. What are you talking about? That's your stove. Yeah, that's my stove. I'm gonna repurpose it. You know, I've been seeing this motherfucker out here back here for about a year and a half. About a year later.
Yeah, that's where the money sits.
About a year later, I eat a meal off the motherfucker.
Oh shit.
And it's beautiful. And it's from the fucking 1940s or some dumb shit.
Yep. That one has finally found its way to the scrapyard. But
Oh, my heart's
Hey
broken.
man, there's just
That
so many
motherfucker was
glorious.
He shouldn't have lived another day.
There's just so many glorious and technological and architectural like visual like beauties associated with fucking TommyLift. I remember going into the proto clinic, yeah, and having to and going into your studio. He was like, "No, we need to go across the hallway." And then we were in there. I can't remember what was immediately in there at the moment, but then there's like a fucking secret door or some shit that then took you down the side of the clinic,
Yeah,
that
it
the
was-
17th Street side.
Well, it was 3 buildings sandwiched together. There was a laundromat on the far south side, and that's where my studio was.
Yeah.
And then there was some sort of like office complex, and
Yeah.
that's where Jazz is.
Right.
And then on the other side, it was a tortilla factory.
Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. And that has this that's where Casey West Side Story is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you go in there, it's a beautiful terrazzo floor, which is like, you know, ground polished pieces of marble and concrete, all kind of laid in like a mosaic. But back in the day, that's where Flotilla had his studio,
Yeah.
and it's where this guy Patrick Pretty had his spot, and also Nick somebody, I can't remember, but that side was unheated, and the landlord said, "Do what you want, but I fix nothing except for the roof. That's it. That is all." And so we had bought our own heaters. I had like a wood burning stove, all kinds of stuff set up in there. I realized later on that like you have to size your gas line big enough so that by the time it gets all the way across the building, it still keeps a flame. And
Yeah.
So we put in like 1/4-inch gas line all the way through the whole building and spent like $500 on pipe. And then it was like, woof, as soon as the lighter, or as soon as the pilot lit, it just like burnt. It couldn't keep up with the flow. So we had to figure out all that stuff. And one of the cats actually learned all about air conditioning, and now he works with me doing air conditioning for all the buildings I take care of. So that's kind of cool. So it was like an incubator for music, art, trades.
It's
You
like
know,
it's like
it was-
fucking Beat Street or some shit.
Yeah, it was
You know
nice.
what I'm
That
saying?
was
Like,
the proto clinic had all kinds of people up in there.
I just
it was
remember-
like Flavor Pack Reloaded or something.
I remember by the time we got all the way back to Flotilla's studio, I was like, "Oh my god, I found the fucking underground."
Yeah, so you had that feeling
Like,
there that I had at the Rumble
I
Box.
found it.
That's nice. That's nice. I'm
found
glad to provide help with that. Man, that's cool. Yeah, man.
Well, I don't want to cut things short.
Oh, we could be here till 4 in the morning,
But
bro.
we
You
could
better do
definitely,
something.
How long we going already?
Who knows? I ain't even looked at my clock.
We're at about 2 hours.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, shit. Well, there's got to be a part 2.
Oh, we're doing this again.
Oh, yeah, this is the first of many.
All we're doing is dipping our toe in.
Yeah. This is the first of many
Zipping.
visits.
You gonna be the Boosie to our DJ Vlad. You know what I'm saying?
This boy is crazy.
You know,
Straight up.
You get a shot at talking about playing.
Man.
and while we got a couple of minutes, I do want to, again say thank you for taking your time out and you know what I'm saying, coming out and hanging out with us, man.
Of course, my pleasure.
I appreciate you watching the episodes, man.
Man, I just was so, actually, honestly, I've been so involved in what I'm doing in a way and everything else that when I heard that you played the Situations joint, I didn't see it because I'm not watching the Twitch stream.
Yeah.
But I was like, holy shit, someone actually still cares about that.
Hey, man.
Oh man, that shit's hot.
I cherish all that
when
shit,
we
bro.
drop, let me just say this, and I'm not trying to be. I'm sorry, I don't want to be the spokesperson for Himalayas on this one, but I just felt like at the time, man, I just didn't feel like there was much reception. That's all. So
That's because you weren't in L.A.
yeah, that's what I hear.
It's not a here. I've heard it back. Like, somebody came to me and was like, yeah, man, oh, you from Kansas City, blah, 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 blah. You heard of Himalayas? I was like, I'm kind of offended right now. Because, what do you mean? Because I'm Mike Brass.
Yeah,
what?
we could talk about
You?
that.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Later.
Hey,
Whatever, but
where's TommyLift? Where's Thailand? Blah, blah. I'm like, leave me alone.
I definitely want to rap with y'all about that guy.
All right. Yes.
At a later, because he's
Love him.
still nothing but love.
Bro, I ain't seen him in...
Just got some questions.
Told you that.
I have questions. Yep.
Yeah, but anyway.
Hey, but bringing Tommy here, we gonna start dragging some of you old asses back in here, boy. Yeah.
Turn the
Y'all
light off.
hey, if we can get TommyLift out the shadows, your ass can't hide.
Hey,
That's all the fuck I got to say.
You see, it brought me back out.
Right, straight up. Straight up.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I've ever told you this, man, but even before we met, everyone we have a lot of mutual friends and associates, and they all would speak so highly of you. I've never heard one person say anything ill about you.
Wholesome guy.
Damn.
And
I ain't heard it.
And honestly, I had such high regard for you prior to meeting you that I would have smacked the shit out of them had they said something, just because I'd have been like, nah, that's my dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know the motherfucker for real like that, but hey, I know he stand up just because A, B, C, and D done said, the exact same thing. So I want to give you some roses for that.
Absolutely.
While you're here to
one of the original stand-up guys.
Sorry.
You know what I mean?
Man.
I've always appreciated your upfrontness and whether you the opinion that you were stating may have ruffled feathers or coddled hearts. Either way, you were going to say it and stand on it. And I appreciate and respect you for that. And I appreciate you coming by tonight. Like I said, this is the first of many. Because we didn't even really dip our toes into too much of anything. We just kind of, you know what I'm saying, kind of dibble-dabbled around a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm not playing. We can do his monthly Boosie recording like Vlad.
Oh, shit.
Whatever. It's whatever.
Well, it's whenever. You have an open invitation.
Nice.
Absolutely.
If you just want to drop by, say something, and dip out, you know what I'm saying, hey, you're more than welcome. You are a beloved member of the community. I view you as a pillar. I think you're only like a couple years older than me, if even that. But I've always looked at you as someone to look up to. I wish there were more of you out there.
Damn, dog, you landing on thick.
No, I'm
we landed on real.
I'm keeping it funky, man.
This is the dude that talks the most shit ever. Enjoy that. That means you're a real great guy.
There's
real,
never
bro.
been any diversion of my opinion of you, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
I believe you.
You are a part of three. There's a triumvirate of Kansas City that is extremely important to me, and it's you, DJ Fresh,
Yep.
and Jack Max.
Damn, that is a huge compliment. And I,
You three
He
are
got
people
Icy
who.
Rock on my list. On
yeah,
his list.
Icy Rock.
Well, that was just the triumvirate. I mean,
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
The list is
It's huge.
it's
The list is, I just delved into that list too.
but those three names have really, in my opinion, shaped and helped create what became
This.
this. There's no hip hop and hot wings without Flavor Pack. There's no Flavor Pack without the Tribe vibe. There's
right.
and at a majority of the steps along the way, you were either there witnessing or you were there as a participant.
Right.
And hey, can't fake that. Can't negate that. Can't hate on that. That's where it's really at. And like I said, smack the shit out of somebody to disagree with me. On behalf of Jamel Rockwell, Mike Brass, my man TommyLift, this is me, your man PL. Appreciate y'all tuning in because you really, literally could have been anywhere in the world because you have the internet, but you chose to spend a couple hours hanging out with us.
But wherever else you would have been lame as fuck compared to this.
Quite
Tell him
possibly.
that.
Quite possibly. This is your official pregame. We release you to go officially game, and y'all be careful out there. Thanks again, and
Uber.
Duber. You know what I'm saying? Avoid the state trooper.
Water.
Peace.